Once upon a time, in the enchanting village of Gondar, a place where humans and mythical creatures coexisted in harmony, there lived a young woman named Amara. Her beauty was as radiant as the morning sun, and her gentle nature seemed to touch every heart in the village. Amara's kindness made her a beloved figure, and her presence turned heads wherever she went. Suitors flocked to her, their voices filled with admiration as they asked, "Amara, you are so lovely. Will you marry me?" But despite the endless proposals, Amara remained serene and steadfast, her lips curling into a warm smile as she always replied, "Thank you, but I'm not ready." Each day, Amara graced the bustling village market with her presence, carrying baskets overflowing with the freshest fruits and vegetables anyone had ever seen. Her goods were unmatched in quality, drawing villagers to her stall like bees to honey. Yet, there was a mystery about her that no one could unravel. Despite her daily visits, no one knew where Amara lived. She arrived at the market with the first light of dawn and departed well before dusk, leaving behind only whispers. Where does Amara go? Where does she live? The villagers murmured among themselves, their curiosity growing with each passing day. But Amara, ever serene, kept her life shrouded in mystery, preferring to share her warmth and generosity without revealing the secrets of her world. One day, a strikingly handsome man named Chima arrived at the market, his eyes scanning the stalls for the finest produce. But his search came to an abrupt halt when he caught sight of Amara. She stood behind her stall, her radiant presence outshining even the vibrant colors of her fruits and vegetables. Chima's heart skipped a beat. "Wow," he thought, "she is the most beautiful girl I've ever seen." Unable to resist the pull of her charm, he gathered his courage and approached her, his voice warm and confident. "Hello," he said, a spark of admiration in his eyes. "My name is Chima. What's your name?" Amara greeted him with a warm smile and replied, "I'm Amara. How can I help you today?" Her voice was soft and inviting, and Chima felt a spark of joy just hearing her speak. He purchased some of her fresh fruits, though he barely noticed what he was buying. His focus was entirely on her. Their conversation flowed naturally as they talked about the weather, the village, and the lively market. Chima was completely captivated by Amara's gentle voice and the kindness that radiated from her every word and gesture. From that day forward, he found himself drawn back to the market each morning, eager for the chance to see her again. Their simple chats blossomed into a genuine friendship, and with every passing moment, Chima realized he was falling deeply in love with her. As the market stalls began to close and the sun dipped below the horizon, Chima noticed the fading light and growing shadows. He watched Amara carefully packing up her goods, her movements graceful, even in the dimming glow of the day. Concerned, he stepped forward and said, "Let me walk you home. It's not safe to go alone in the dark." Amara hesitated, her eyes searching his face, but before she could refuse, Chima gently insisted. With a small nod, she agreed, and they set off together. The night deepened around them, the air turning crisp as a cool breeze whispered through the trees. Stars began to emerge, casting a faint light on their path. But as they walked, Chima felt an odd, chilling sensation. A hand, icy and unfamiliar, brushed against his back. He froze, his breath catching in his throat, and spun around, his eyes darting into the darkness. There was no one there. His heart pounded like a drum, and unease prickled at his skin. Ahead of him, Amara continued walking, her posture calm, her steps steady, as if nothing had happened. Unable to shake the creeping anxiety that clung to him like a shadow, Chima stopped in his tracks and blurted, "Amara, I think I should go back. It's getting too dark." His voice quivered slightly, betraying the fear that had taken hold of him. Amara turned to face him, her expression calm and unreadable under the faint starlight. She offered a gentle smile and replied, "It's okay, Chima. You can go back if you're scared." Her words were soft, but they carried an undeniable weight. Chima hesitated, his eyes wide with fear, before nodding quickly. Without another word, he turned and hurried back toward the safety of the village. His pace quickened with every step, and by the time he reached his home, he was breathless and trembling. That night, the strange chill he felt haunted his dreams, and from that day forward, he avoided the market and Amara entirely. Though Amara missed his company, she remained serene, carrying on her quiet, peaceful life in the village, as mysterious as ever. The villagers often wondered why Chima had suddenly stopped visiting. Little did they know, Amara harbored a secret. She was not just an ordinary girl. She came from a magical forest beyond Gondar. In that forest, she lived with her family, who were not human. They had the ability to take on different forms, blending with the natural world around them. Among them, Amara was unique. She always appeared human, her form a bridge between their world and the villagers. Her family loved her deeply but was fiercely protective, their voices gentle but firm as they warned her, "Amara, you must not marry a human. Our worlds are too different." When Chima began visiting, Amara's parents grew concerned. They didn't want her to fall in love, so they decided to scare him away. The cold hand Chima felt was a trick orchestrated by her family. Amara felt sad about this. She liked Chima and longed for friends in the village. She didn't want to live under her family's rules anymore. So she made a bold decision to sever ties with her family and stay in Gondar. One day Amara ventured deep into the forest to say goodbye to her family. "I love you, but I want to live my own life," she told them. Her parents were sad, but understood. They warned her one last time, "Be careful, Amara. The world outside can be harsh." With a heavy heart, she left the forest behind and moved to the village, hoping to find happiness and perhaps love among the humans. Amara continued to sell her goods at the market, keeping her past a secret. The villagers knew her as the beautiful and kind girl, unaware of her magical origins. However, after leaving her family, Amara felt a mix of freedom and fear. To ensure she wouldn't be pulled back into her family's world, she decided to visit the shrine of Onicha, a powerful spirit known for helping those seeking a different path in life. Amara walked to the shrine and knelt before Onicha's altar. "Great Onicha, I wish to sever all connections with my family. I want to live freely in Gondar village, away from their control." She spoke with determination. Onicha appeared, glowing softly, and listened to her request. "I understand your wish, Amara. I will grant you the freedom you seek. But know this: your family will not be happy. They may try to curse you to bring you back." With bravery, Amara replied, "I understand. I still want to go through with it." Onicha raised a hand, and with a gentle wave, the bond between Amara and her family was severed. However, true to Onicha's warning, when her family realized they had lost their connection to her, they were furious. In anger and sorrow, her mother laid a curse upon her, whispering to the wind, "May you never find happiness with a human. May they always leave you in despair." Despite the curse, Amara remained in Gondar, continuing her life in the village. She hoped to find love and a sense of belonging, even as the shadow of the curse loomed over her. Determined to live freely, she maintained her kind and gentle nature, wishing to meet someone who could see past the curse and love her for who she was. One day, a well-known merchant named Chike visited Gondar. He traveled from village to village, selling fine cloth and beautiful garments. Friendly and charming, Chike was struck by Amara's beauty when he saw her at the market. Who is this lovely girl? He wondered. Approaching her with a warm smile, he said, "Hello, I'm Chike. I sell beautiful clothes. You must be Amara, the girl everyone talks about." Amara smiled back, replying, "Yes, that's me. It's nice to meet you, Chike." Captivated by her gentle voice and kind eyes, Chike began visiting the market more often, always stopping by Amara's stall. They talked and laughed, and Chike found himself falling in love with her. After some time, he decided he wanted to marry her. Excitedly, he said, "Amara, I like you very much. Will you marry me and come live with my family?" Amara, cautious about love due to her past experiences, felt a spark of hope. She agreed to meet Chike's family. Happily, Chike took her to his village to introduce her to his parents. However, when they arrived, Chike's mother frowned upon seeing Amara. Having heard whispers about her mysterious past and the strange events surrounding her, she thought, "This girl is beautiful, but there's something off about her." After talking with Amara for a while, Chike's mother shook her head. "I'm sorry, Chike, but I don't trust this girl. There's a curse around her. She is not suitable for our family," she said firmly. Chike was shocked and saddened. He liked Amara very much, but respected his parents' wishes. With a heavy heart, he told her, "Amara, I'm sorry. My mother doesn't approve of our marriage. I must listen to my family." Amara felt her heart break. She had hoped Chike would see past the curse, but she understood his choice. With tears in her eyes, she nodded and quietly left Chike's home, returning to Gondar village, feeling the weight of the curse once more. Though her heart was heavy, she continued her daily life, always kind and gentle, even when she was hurting. After her heartbreak with Chike, Amara felt the curse more than ever. Sad and tired of being pushed away because of it, she decided to return to Onicha's shrine. Hoping the powerful spirit could help her lift the curse, she walked to the shrine and knelt before Onicha's altar. "Great Onicha, the curse placed upon me is causing so much pain. Please help me lift it so I can find happiness and be free from this burden," she pleaded. Onicha appeared in a soft glow and listened to Amara's plea. "You have endured much because of this curse," Onicha said gently. "I can lift it, but there is a condition. You must remain calm and never let anger take over your heart. If you get angry, the curse will return, and it will be even stronger." Amara nodded eagerly, her eyes filled with hope. "I promise, Onicha, I will stay calm and keep my heart pure. Please lift the curse," she vowed. With a wave of Onicha's hand, a warm breeze surrounded Amara. She felt a weight lift off her shoulders. The curse was gone. Thankfully, she returned to Gondar village, determined to live a good life. Back in the village, Amara resumed her daily routine, selling goods at the market and greeting everyone with her usual kindness. The villagers admired her beauty and calm demeanor, unaware of the struggles she had faced. Feeling lighter now that the curse was lifted, Amara remained mindful of her promise to Onicha, keeping her emotions in check and staying calm in every situation. One warm afternoon, Amara went to the village stream to fetch water. As she sat on a rock contemplating her life and challenges, she felt a deep sadness. She missed having someone to share her life with. Suddenly, a gentle voice called out, "Are you okay?" Amara looked up and saw a kind-faced man standing by the water, his warm smile and gentle eyes making her feel at ease. "My name is Obinna," he said, walking closer. "You look sad, and I wanted to make sure you're all right." "Thank you, Obinna. I'm Amara," she replied softly. They talked for a while, and Amara found herself opening up to him. Obinna listened with care, comforting her and making her feel valued. Over the days, they met often at the stream, sharing laughter and building a bond. Obinna was kind and understanding, never prying into her past. One day, Obinna said, "I care about you, Amara. You are a wonderful person, and I want to be with you." Surprised, Amara felt a mix of hope, fear, and happiness. Remembering her past heartbreaks and the curse, she hesitated. But Obinna's sincerity touched her heart. "I like you too, Obinna," she finally said. "But I have been through a lot. Are you sure you want to be with me?" "I am sure, Amara. Let's make a life together," he replied with a smile. They grew close, and Obinna treated Amara with respect and care. It wasn't long before he proposed, wanting to make her his wife and share a happy life. With joy in her heart, Amara accepted his proposal, and they began planning their wedding, dreaming of a future filled with love and happiness. The day of their wedding arrived, and the village of Gondar buzzed with excitement. Everyone gathered in the village square, decorated with colorful flowers and bright banners. The villagers danced, sang, and celebrated, thrilled to see Amara and Obinna together. As they exchanged vows under the warm sun, Amara looked radiant, and Obinna couldn't stop smiling. They promised to love and cherish each other, surrounded by the cheers of the villagers. However, as night fell and the couple retired to their new home, something strange occurred. Amara began to feel uneasy. A cold shiver ran down her spine. She looked at Obinna, worried in her eyes. Suddenly, her body started to change. Her legs fused together, her skin turned scaly, and before they knew it, she transformed into a giant python. Obinna's eyes widened in shock and terror. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. "Amara!" he exclaimed. But all that came from her was a sad look. Overcome with fear, Obinna screamed and ran out of the house, stumbling through the village and shouting for help. The villagers gathered around, confused and frightened, seeing a giant python slithering out of the doorway. The joyful wedding had turned into a night of fear. The villagers whispered, "Is this the curse we've heard about?" The elders decided to call for the oracle, hoping for answers. The oracle arrived, a wise figure who had guided the village through many mysteries. The villagers stood in a circle, waiting for clarity. The oracle stepped forward and asked Amara to come forth. The giant python slithered into the center, and with a deep sigh, she spoke. "I am Amara. I come from a family in the forest. I am the only one who can take human form. My parents never wanted me to marry a human because they feared it would bring trouble. They tried to scare away anyone who got close to me, but I wanted a normal life, to find love and happiness like everyone else. So, I severed ties with my family, but they cursed me, saying I would never find true happiness with a human." The villagers listened, their fear turning to sympathy. They had always known Amara as a kind person. The elders exchanged glances with the oracle, who nodded solemnly. The oracle then turned to Obinna. "Do you have anything to say?" they asked gently. Obinna stepped forward, trembling. "Yes, I confess," he said, his voice quivering. "I was drawn to Amara because of her beauty and kindness, but I also had other intentions. I thought I could use her to gain wealth and power. I planned to take her money and leave her behind once I got what I wanted." A gasp rippled through the crowd. The villagers were shocked by his confession. The elders looked at him with disappointment as the oracle sighed deeply. "You planned to betray Amara's trust and use her for your gain. This is grave wrongdoing." The oracle turned to Obinna, who stood devastated. "You cannot escape the responsibility of your actions. You must stay with her as your wife. This is the consequence of your deceit and the lesson you must learn." The villagers murmured, shocked by the oracle's decision. Obinna realized the gravity of his actions and the consequences he now faced. He glanced at Amara, still in her python form, her eyes filled with sadness. He understood he had no choice but to accept the oracle's judgment. The oracle raised a hand to quiet the crowd, stating that this union would serve as a reminder of the importance of honesty and true intentions. Obinna and Amara would leave Gondar village together to face the challenges ahead. The villagers watched as they departed, some with sympathy and others with curiosity. It was a thunderous farewell, knowing the two would face an uncertain future together. As they walked towards the forest where Amara's family lived, Obinna felt nervous. The air became more magical and mysterious as they entered the thick woods. Finally, they reached a hidden clearing where Amara's family resided. Her family members emerged, each with unique forms, some resembling animals, while others appeared more ethereal. Obinna stepped forward, bowed his head, and said, "I am sorry for my intentions. I wanted to use Amara for my own gain, but I have learned my lesson. I accept the oracle's judgment and ask for your forgiveness." Amara's parents listened carefully, seeing the regret in Obinna's eyes. After a moment of silence, Amara's mother spoke. "We see that you are truly sorry. We forgive you, but know that living here will not be easy. You must respect our ways and care for Amara." Obinna nodded gratefully. "I understand and will do my best." With that, Amara's family accepted him into their world. They welcomed him, not as a perfect person, but as someone willing to learn and grow. Obinna had to adapt to a life very different from what he knew in the village. The creatures of the forest were kind and gentle, but they had their own customs. He worked hard to fit in, learning about their magical world and the responsibilities that came with it. Amara, now free to be herself, sometimes stayed in her human form or transformed into a python or another shape entirely. Obinna grew to understand and accept her in all her forms. Together, they found a new rhythm to their lives, far from the hustle and bustle of the village. As time passed, Obinna learned to appreciate the beauty and peace of the forest. He became part of Amara's family, helping and sharing in their lives. He accepted his fate and made the best of his new life, finding moments of joy and peace. Amara, too, felt a sense of belonging and acceptance. She was with her family and had someone who chose to stay with her despite the challenges. Together, they discovered a new kind of happiness, different from what they had imagined, but fulfilling in its own way. They learned that love and acceptance could come in many forms, and they embraced the life they had, finding contentment in their new home in the magical forest. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the story, please consider liking, commenting your thoughts, and subscribing to my channel. Thank you so much, and see you in my next story.